In this video, we're going to revisit our problem of determining the amount to tip a server at a restaurant. So we're going to have an app where the user will put in the amount of the bill and then is going to use radio buttons to choose a tip percentage and then have the app do the calculation for us. The code can be found at the URL seen at the bottom. And what's going to be different this time is that in design, in the XML, we're going to have a radio group, but no radio buttons. And we're going to add the radio buttons using code. Okay, so this looks the way it looked previously. We have a place to enter the bill amount. The 25 there is a hint, not an actual number. So it was, I don't know, 78.65 was our bill. And then we'll do a 20% tip and click the button and it will do the calculation. If we change the tip percentage, it clears it out. We must recalculate. And if we change the amount of the bill, then again, it clears it out and we must recalculate. Okay, so let's look at the design. First, there is that text view that just says bill amount. So we see that over here on the emulated phone. And that is the label for the edit text where the user will enter the amount of the bill. Here is the edit text. There's that hint of 25. It's a number decimal input type. So the user can type things that are related to decimal numbers like the dot and the numbers, but not words like cat or something like that. Okay, and here is the radio group. The radio group is a container, so there's an open radio group and a closed radio group. The radio group is constrained. Things in the radio group do not need to be constrained. By default, a radio group will be a vertical layout. We can turn it into a horizontal layout, but everything in the radio group will be just automatically put one under the other in a vertical layout. But the only thing in the radio group at this time is a text, which is serving sort of as its label. So it says up there, tip percentage. Then we have the button, and it has some text, and then it will be connected to a listener for listen to a click event. And then we have the two text views at the bottom, which will display the amount of tip and then the total, the bill plus the tip. Okay, so move over to the KT code. And here we are on the onCreate. So we have an array of tip amounts, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Here's our usual connecting to the interface, making code versions of the things in our interface, our various widgets. Here's the edit text for the bill. Here's our radio group for the tip. Here is our text view to display the tip amount. Here's our text view to display the total amount. And here's our button to be clicked to invoke the calculation. Some variables to do our calculation along the way. Amount for the bill, for the tip, for the total, and an index, an integer telling us of the set of choices of tip percentages, which one was chosen. So sort of an array index. Now, as we said, there were no radio buttons in the radio group. So the new part is to add those radio buttons to the radio group. So this is what is new in this one, other than the clearing out of the radio group. Here's the new thing in code. So we are doing a loop over the tip amounts. So item is, I refer to it as a dummy index. It's sort of the name of the element of the array in that particular iteration over the array. And we're going to construct a new radio button. And that constructor needs a, that constructor needs a context, which is this. So we're not making a radio button for some other app, we're making a radio button for this app. We can set the text. So this is going to, what the radio button is going to say, what the user will see. And so it's going to be that number with a percent sign afterward. We previously said for, like, say that the 15% radio button, previously we had a tag which we used behind the scenes which said 0.15. So we're also constructing that so we don't have to change any of our other code. So we're setting a tag to be item divided by 100.0, so force it into a floating point division, make sure it doesn't do integer division, so divide by 100.0, and then add that radio button to the group. Normally when we add some widget to an interface that's a constraint layout, we would have to be adding the constraints. How is it constrained horizontally and vertically? But since we're putting them in the radio group is a vertical layout, they just automatically get displayed in a linear fashion without us constraining it in any way. The button calculate is what it was before. We're going to go to the edit text, grab its text, convert it to a string, convert it to a double. We have this in a try because that may fail. You can't type user because it was of the input type that was chosen, can't type much in there, but they might have nothing in there, and that can't be converted to a double. Here we're finding the index of the rate from the radio group. So which radio button is checked, and that will give us this variable I'm calling tip index. If none of them were chosen, that will give us a -1. So we're asking right now, if it's not equal to -1, that means it was one of the radio buttons was selected, and we'll figure out which one. So we will use that index to find the view by ID. And then remember that we had the nice convenient thing in the tag. So once we have the radio button, go to its tag, convert it to a string, convert it to a double, and we're ready to calculate and display. If the tip index was -1, we'll tell them in a toast to please select the tip amount. And then in the catch, we're presuming that what went wrong in the catch was the bill amount, the casting the bill amount to a double. And so we're yelling at them here in the exception to please enter a bill amount. Here's the end of the button click. Here is the edit text change event handler. So if the person types a new number into the bill amount, there's the before, the after, and the during, and here is just the clearing out of the calculation. So they're changing their bill amount, we're taking away our calculation. And here's the changed event of the radio group. So if the user changes which radio button for the tip was selected, then again, we're toasting something out, just sort of a proof of concept that we can have access to information about what choice they just made. But our main goal was to sort of clear out any answer, make them recalculate. Okay, that's what I wanted to show you.